Are you ready to transform your normal e-commerce business into one that experiences exponential growth year after year using online advertising? If so, this show is for you. Me and my guests will show you how you too can grow your e-commerce business to 7 or even 8 figures so you can go on more luxurious vacations, spoil yourself and your family, say yes to more opportunities, and become financially free so you never have to worry about money again. Welcome to the E-commerce Performance Marketing Show. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. I'm really excited for this episode because I get to tie it all together. You're now going to see what the ARM5 Formula is all about and the principles behind it. And then in the future episodes, you'll see results from the ARM5 Formula. You'll see specific strategies, specific tactics, how we executed, what goes into our marketing, how we are able to do really good marketing for our clients, and processes and things like that we do day in, day out as well to get our clients results, and more. So there's going to be a lot coming up that ties back into these foundational episodes. So in this episode, I'm going to tie together the ARM5 Formula and go over the last parts of the ARM5 Formula, which is our proprietary counterintuitive strategy and process for helping clients in our mastermind and also in our agency get the best possible results from online advertising. So let me go over the profit amplifiers here and then I'll explain what they are. So ARM5 Formula, the 5 obviously, stands for these 5 profit amplifiers. You've got the authority amplifier, you've got the trust amplifier, you've got the monetization amplifier, you've got the testing matrix amplifier, and then you have the persuasion amplifier. Now, some of these may not surprise you if you've checked out previous episodes, because previous episodes really explain generating authority, what that looks like, what are some things you can do to do that, how that positions your company, how that helps you be able to scale because you're really leveraging what the top of a funnel can do for you and your company when you're using advertising. In summary, the authority amplifier is creating invaluable content that your audience loves and doing it systematically and consistently. Not just putting up a few videos. We're talking about doing it on a weekly or bi-weekly basis and getting valuable content out to your website and then amplified by using online advertising. So that's going to, again, going back to a previous episode, it's one part of doing your online advertising three-dimensionally. Instead of just going for the result, which is maybe 1% to 2% of your market, showing an offer and getting that small percent of your market to buy your product, you're now trying to get a bigger piece of the pie by showing them value up front with that content, with that authority amplifier, and you're getting them into your funnel, and then you're using retargeting to move them further and further down the funnel. So this way you're creating a system that always refreshes itself, that never runs out of new blood, so to speak, for you and your business. Because if you're just going direct to offer with ads, and that's been your strategy from the get-go, you're gonna hit limits unless, again, going back to a previous episode, you've got a hot trending product, or you've got an incredible, irresistible offer and the market loves it, and you're just a top-notch copywriter that's probably paid quite a bit by others if you were to sell your services, and you're just really good at what you do. But those are rare cases. For most people, you want to systematize your advertising, and how you do that is by leveraging the ARM5 Formula adapted for you and your business. And part of that is having that top of the funnel and creating that authority, positioning your company as the authority in your market. And you can do that through publishing invaluable content consistently and effectively to your blog and then amplifying it using online advertising. So that's what the authority amplifier is. Now, the trust amplifier, that kind of goes hand in hand. Because if you're putting out valuable content to an audience and you're also doing it to your warm audience and letting them see your content consistently through your follow-up efforts, which you should have if you don't, email, Facebook Messenger, text message marketing, for example. If you're on our list, you're getting notified twice a week of our episodes of the show. So therefore, we are creating that trust by providing that consistent value. So that's where that comes from. And that ties back into something else that I'll explain here in a little bit as well. So the trust amplifier is creating that trust in your content and in your follow-up. That's what that has to do with. And if you have, this process, this system, this strategy incorporated into your business, then you're constantly building trust. And that's why we have the trust amplifier as one of our 5 profit amplifiers. And then the monetization amplifier. So I mentioned in a previous episode how important monetization is to the ARM5 formula and to online advertising. And that goes beyond just getting the customer. That goes beyond just maximizing that initial transaction. That goes into how you're maximizing customer lifetime value, which is one of the first episodes of the Ecom Performance Marketing Show, is really focusing on the right metric, which is number 1, CLTV, customer lifetime value. So the monetization amplifier is all about having that approach with your online advertising beyond just ads, using follow-up, using funnels, making new offers, having a promotional calendar, which I mentioned in a previous episode. Those all go into amplifying the monetization of your advertising. This way you're getting the best ROI for your advertising budget. And then finally, the testing matrix amplifier. Now this is new. We really haven't covered this. And honestly, I can't cover everything that goes into split testing and optimization and analytics and reporting and how to get that consistent. I can't go into that in this episode with everything I'm explaining, but that will be definitely in a future episode, because I'd love for you to be able to adopt some of our strategies, techniques, and principles in regards to testing, because testing's huge. If you've ever put out an ad that hasn't worked, which I'm sure everybody has, if you ever put out an offer that hasn't worked, which I'm sure, again, everybody has, then you know that you can't just put stuff out and it's going to work right away. You have to test. You have to test. You have to test. You have to do that. You have to get the data. You have to learn from the data. Get the data. Learn from the data, right? Over and over. So the testing matrix amplifier is really just our process of testing. And it really comes down to keeping it very, very simple. And here's the biggest kind of takeaway that I can give you here from this part of the 5 profit amplifiers is always test one thing and systematize your testing. So this means that if you're testing ads, for example, test only an audience split test. Like test, your ad set, which is your audience, and the ads in that ad set. Test that ad set against other ad sets with other audiences and compare the results. But don't change anything else. Don't change ad creative. Don't change settings. Just add ad sets with additional audiences and then see which audience wins. That's your split test. That's keeping it simple and effective and allows you to, really get better and better results and increases in your conversions, your lead generation, your ROI, whatever your KPIs are, if you follow that systematically. That also applies to your funnels and your website. Split testing one thing at a time. This way you know exactly what changed and what didn't and what that result was. This way you can learn from it and then you can keep building and building on it. And you should be running tests, consistently on your ad campaigns. One split test in your ad account, for example, and also one test on like your funnel or your website. Okay, you should be doing that consistently, and that's what the testing matrix amplifier has to do with, is really systematically approaching testing, analytics, and getting reporting and then acting on it on a consistent basis. Okay, and then finally the persuasion amplifier. So this ties into the 6 laws of persuasion. So this is an incredible book by Robert Cialdini. I probably didn't pronounce his last name wrong, and I've met him and I've shaken his hand and I talked to him about his books. So I apologize, Robert. So 6 laws of persuasion are social proof, commitment, reciprocity, basically, liking, authority, and scarcity. So the nice thing about all 6 of these is this happens in our ARM5 formula strategy and system. Okay, social proof comes with your content because a cold audience is going to see it, and the really hot content will have a longer runtime in that first stage of your marketing that's being amplified by your advertising, and your warm audience will see that if you're running it the way we run our ARM5 formula, and you'll see people liking, sharing, commenting, that are your customers that are providing social proof, and then your cold audience is seeing that content, in your ads, and they're seeing massive social proof. Again, it's all about creating a system out of your ad account. It's not about just having one ad campaign getting you ROI. It's about creating a system, a stack of ad campaigns that are running the strategy and the process behind the ARM5 formula, and they all kind of feed into each other. There's a way to set it up. Okay? Commitment. So when your audience sees you're committed to serving and you're committed to providing value, just like I am with this, 2 episodes a week, it's 6:30 p.m. I'm tired. I've got my son, waiting for me, and he wants to spend time with me. And I'm recording this video because I'm committed to your success. So if you're running the authority amplifier and you're publishing content consistently to your cold and your warm audiences, that shows commitment. And that's why it's part of the 6 laws of persuasion. And that's where reciprocity comes in. When you're providing value, you get that feedback, you get that value back. People are more apt to buy or just opt in for free offers. They're basically, they feel like they owe you in a way, right? They feel like that you've spent a lot of time with them for free and you've provided a lot of value to them, a lot of impact, and they want to reward you for it. They want to help, they want to see you, be rewarded for all the hard work and the effort that you're putting into putting value out, to them. And that's where reciprocity comes in. That's why it's a big part of the ARM5 formula. Again, they all tie together. And then finally, liking, they like you. That's something that, that some people will like you, some people won't. That's just the way it is. And in marketing, you really do want to polarize. You want to stand for something, or you stand for nothing. So some people won't like you, but the people that will like you, they're going to be activated and they're going to be persuaded because they like you, they like your voice, they like your content, they like the face behind the brand, they like everything about what it is that you're representing. Okay. Then authority. I already explained authority and how that kind of ties in. Basically, if you're putting out invaluable content that is well written, it's well prepared, it's research based, it's fact based, it's experience based, and it's also based off of what they want, because you've done feedback, whether it's survey feedback or whether it's going into Facebook groups or going into Reddit forums, you name it, you've got feedback, you know what they want, and they appreciate you for it, and they see you as an authority because you're providing valuable content that they really want to know more about, which again creates reciprocity, and they see that commitment from you, and they're more apt to become a lead and also a customer with you and your brand and your business. And finally, scarcity. So scarcity should be used in a lot of your offers. Not all your offers, but definitely a lot of your offers. Like first-time customers, you should give them like some sort of one-time deal and a time frame to take advantage of it. And your funnels should replicate what you've communicated in your ads and your pages. Your funnels should show an expiration, for example, should have email follow-up, maybe even additional channels following up, leading up to that deadline. For example, we have an event coming up and we have emails and text messaging going out leading up to the deadline for early bird tickets for our upcoming event. So you want to do that. You want to create, real scarcity there. And you can do that through systemization, through your follow-up, through your funnels. And that's where scarcity comes in. And scarcity does, make a big deal. It does create urgency. It does get people to take action. We've seen it time and time again. For example, we've ran a few different promo funnels over the years. But for example, we had this client in the UK that sells juicing programs. Very successful business, but they needed help. They wanted to see more sales coming in, especially from their marketing automation primarily. And so we helped them. We basically did like a promo funnel and created a system that we were able to deploy several times throughout the year. And after we did that for a year, in addition to a bunch of other stuff that we were doing for them as well, they saw a 237% increase from the previous year, and partially due to the work that we were providing. And that's an example of why scarcity works so well in creating urgency, through promotional type offers. So in a previous episode, I said you should create a promo calendar. This way you can plan ahead, you can execute on promotions, you can execute on offers, and you can really maximize the offers you're making to your audience, whether it's a pixeled audience or your email list. Because those are two huge opportunities that are coming, from your ad spend, your advertising, and the more offers you make, the more money you make. Don't be concerned about burning them out. Don't be concerned about getting unsubscribes. People are going to unsubscribe from you. They're not going to like you. Maybe they're not serious about buying your product. That's fine. Okay? Don't worry about that so much. Just focus on putting out as many offers as possible, and when appropriate, use urgency. This way you can create scarcity and get people to buy and become customers. And that's all tied into the 6 laws of persuasion here as well. So here are some examples. Just want to highlight this. So this stuff works. I wouldn't be teaching it if it didn't, because I'm authentic, I'm real, and I don't spit out BS, basically. If I ever say anything that I stand behind, it's because it comes from real experience, comes from fact, and these are all facts. We've done these types of results because of the ARM5 formula and because of everything that I've explained in this episode and previous episodes, okay? We did a 1,524% ROI using Facebook ads, for example. That's in a free case study. You can go to our website, you can go through it, check it out, sign up to go through it. It's a very detailed, comprehensive 45-minute training that really ties into the ARM5 formula and gives you a little bit more specifics behind the scenes, more than an episode of the show can do. We also did 93,000 in one day. 93,000 in one day. Now, there was a lot of momentum, as you can imagine, behind that. But see, that's why the ARM5 formula is so powerful, because it's a system. It's not just a one-time advertising campaign or one-time use. It's creating a system, a profitable system that creates automatic growth month after month, year after year. That's what the ARM5 formula is. And because we had that momentum, when we drove an offer on one day really, really hard, we were able to get 93,000 in sales for that specific client. And here's another example. So this is from November 15th to December 15th. We were able to do a $474,915.17 in 30 days. And most of that is attributed to advertising. But again, it goes back to putting the system in place. This way you can keep building that momentum, you can keep building the top of your funnel with the cold audience and the amplification of your content, using retargeting to move people down. This way you're capturing more leads, capturing more customers, and you're further monetizing your customer base. So this way you really have 80-20 happening in your business. That's all in the ARM5 formula. And with this episode, I'm finally tying up the loose ends, finally going over what the 5 means in the ARM5 formula and how we're able to achieve some of these results that I'm explaining here. So if you want to check out that case study again, go to our website. You can check it out for free, 100%. Go there, click on free case study in the top right of the menu, and go ahead and sign up. We'll send it to you right away. You can go through it on your own time. Totally cool. And you'll learn so much from doing that, and you'll see how the ARM5 formula ties into how we run our ad campaigns, our funnels, our optimization for one of our clients where we get an incredible result. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Ecom Performance Marketing Show. And if you're serious about growing your business here in 2020, if you really want to have the best year of business yet, and you want to seize everything you've ever wanted in your life, and you want to make this year the year where you actually do it instead of talking about it, well, then I invite you to take action. Come join me here in Scottsdale, Arizona for the ARM5 Formula Intensive, February 18th through the 19th, where you're going to discover more about the ARM5 formula. You're going to discover the specific strategies and processes, and we're going to go through them for your business. This way you have that. You can systematize this in your business. This way you can grow your business automatically from profits that are generated from online advertising month after month, year after year, 100% on autopilot, because you're using a proven strategy and a process that's going to be adapted for your business. I guarantee you that you will leave with that as a result. So if you want that, this is limited to 30 people. I only have enough time, space, bandwidth, resources to be able to do that with 30 people because of me and my team member that's going to be teaching it. It's going to be very private, very curated. It's going to be very effective and just very impactful. It's going to blow you away, I guarantee it. And it's going to make a huge impact on your business here in 2020. So if you're interested, click on the link below for the ARM5 Formula Intensive. Early bird tickets are available right now, but price is going up very, very soon. So you want to act now, especially if you're an action taker. You want to make 2020 your best year yet. So thank you again so much for being part of the audience of the Ecom Performance Marketing Show, and I look forward to recording the next episode. Thank you for tuning into the e-commerce performance marketing show. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment with a timestamp of your favorite part and share it with a friend. Until our next episode, here's to you and the success of your e-commerce business.